Okay. So our note to self. Combine like terms, meaning they have the same variable and exponent, and we add or subtract the coefficients. Do not operate with exponents. Write your answers in standard form, meaning from highest to lowest exponent. So standard form means we're only paying attention to the exponents, highest to lowest. Okay? So that's our note to self. Okay, I've probably said enough now, so here we go. Example 1. I have this polynomial and this polynomial, and they're going to be added together. I have a parentheses here, right? So with a parentheses and this addition sign, that means I have an invisible 1 right there in front, don't I? Isn't there one there? Yeah. And with this, I would distribute that positive 1 to everything on the inside, right? Well, what is 1 times 5a? 5a. What is 1 times 2? 2. What is 1 times negative 2a to the 4th? Negative 2a to the 4th. So does multiplying by that positive 1 change anything? No. So do I really need to go through that? No, I don't. So we're not going to do that, okay? Because if I've got a positive 1, none of the values change, so we're not going to do that. But I wanted to show you that because that's going to matter here in a few minutes, okay? So we're just going to work with what we have right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my first polynomial, and this one actually has 2, and it's special. It has a special name. A polynomial, meaning many terms, right? Okay. So if I just have 2 terms, that's a binomial, right? Like a bicycle, 2 wheels, binomial. If I have 3 terms, what do you think this one's called? A trinomial. Yeah, like a tricycle. 3 terms, trinomial. Okay. Just throwing that out there to you. Okay, so here's what I'm looking for. If I have, and remember, like terms, again, same variable and exponent, so I have an a to the 4th right here. Do I have another a to the 4th to combine with it? Bless you. I do. So a to the 4, 8, I'm having a hard time with 8 and a together here. 8a to the 4th, and I want to remind you, okay, to keep that sign or that operation with your other term, okay? So this is a negative 2a to the 4th or minus 2a to the 4th. So keep in mind those operations matter, okay? They become those signs. Now I have a constant of negative 6. Do I have another constant over here to combine with it? Yes, what is it? Positive 2. Okay? Now, I have a 5a right here, and there are no other a's, right? So he just kind of stands alone. So I'm going to circle him. And I'm going to tell you why, because if I don't, I will forget to put him in the answer. I'm just saying. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to combine them. Correct. Correct. Thank you, Elizabeth. Yes, since this A doesn't have an exponent that belongs to any of what I already have, he has to be written separate. I can't combine him because he doesn't have an exponent. Okay, very good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start here and I'm going to go, oh, 8a to the 4th. Everybody turn your calculators on and reset them, please. Okay. What is 8a to the 4th minus 2a to the 4th? 6a to the 4th. Okay? So this is a quick reminder that we're only calculating with the coefficients, the exponents stay the same. Okay? So it's negative 6, keep the a to the 4th. Okay? So now, what is negative 6 plus 2? Negative 4 is correct. Thank you, Rob. And then, and sometimes I just kind of like to mark them out so I can keep up with where I am. I do that sometimes too. So whatever works for you so that you can get those correct answers would be great. Okay. And then I'm just going to bring down my positive 5a. Now, this cannot be my final answer. Why not? It's not in standard form. Okay? I have an exponent of 4. I have no variable, and I have an exponent of 1. That is not in standard form. Highest exponent, so 6a to the 4th is written first, because that is the highest exponent. But then I need the plus 5a, because that's an exponent of 1. And this doesn't have an exponent at all, does it? So it goes on the end. Doesn't have a variable. All constants always go on the end. So if you have variables and then a constant, it's always going to go on the end. Okay? Because it's not there. It's not a 0, it's just not there. Okay? So that's my final answer in standard form. Okay? And we're going to practice this a little bit more. All right, let's go to example 2. Here's my example 2. Again, I have a binomial plus a trinomial, okay? And I'm looking for like terms. So here we go. I've got a 4n squared. Do I have another one to combine with that? Yes, and it is. Well, why can't I put it with the 5? Ah, the exponent's not the same. Very good. Very good. Okay, I like it. I like it. Okay, so negative 7n squared goes with that. Very nice. I like it. Okay, so now I have a negative 1 constant, and I have another constant of 6. I agree. And now I have this negative 5n to the 4th. Do I have anything to combine with that one? Nope. So we're just going to circle him to make sure we don't leave him out. Now, you can work these however you want to, whatever makes better sense to you. I just want to show you the other way to do it. So another way to do that so you don't have to rewrite it is to start with the highest exponent. Which one is the highest exponent? Well, 4, right? 4 is my high, and then I've got a 2, and then I don't have any more. So I would write negative 5n to the 4th, and I'd write that first. Because I'm gonna try to get my answer in standard form without having to rewrite it. So now, exponent of 4, now I need the exponent of 2. So what is 4 minus 7? Negative 3, keep the n squared. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to kind of mark those out so I know I'm done with those. And then I've got negative 1 plus 6, which would be plus 5. And I've written my answer in standard form, and I don't have to rewrite it. I want you to do what's going to help you get the correct answer, okay? So if you want to write it and then rewrite it, that's fantastic. If you want to start from the highest exponent and go ahead and write to the lowest, I'm good with that too. Whatever works for you. Okay, I want to go down to example 4. Here's example 4, and I have a trinomial plus a trinomial. Okay, so let me find those like terms. Somebody give me one of the like terms, please. Uh-huh. Plus 3x to the 4th, I like that. Taylor, give me another one, please. Oh, I'm sorry, say that again. I've got a 7 here that's a constant. I agree. Is that a like term? This one has a variable, so no. What's the other constant? 1. I agree. Okay, so those are, because remember, my like terms have to do with the variables and the exponents. Okay, so now, finally, I have a positive 4x squared, and what is its like term? Negative 7x squared. Thank you. Make sure you keep those operations with those numbers. Okay, so we're going to write our answer. Casey, how do you want to write this? What would you write first for your answer? 6x to the fourth power. Okay, that takes care of those. JT, what would you write next? Negative 3x to the second power, or squared. And then finally, what is 7 plus 1? 8. Okay. Questions about how to get the answer. Okay? I want you to get the answer to number 3 right now, please. Caden, is that my final answer? No, it's not in standard form. Caden, what does it look like in standard form, please? That is exactly right. This should be your final answer. So, like I said, however you need to do it to get to that correct answer, I'm good with. How many of you got that one correct? Nice. Very good. Any questions? Okay. So we're going to look at example number 5. And what we're looking for in our modeling questions is, am I adding or subtracting, right? That's what I'm looking for. Because they're still polynomials. So a scientist is growing cell cultures and blah, 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 whatever. The culture in one petri dish increases according to the expression. So I'm going to go ahead and put parentheses around my first polynomial for time in t minutes. Another increases, and then here's my other polynomial. I'm going to put parentheses around that. So I know which two polynomials I'm going to combine. I just need to know if it's adding or subtracting. And the last sentence is going to tell us. He needs to know the expression for the total. That means I'm doing what? Adding. If I want a total, I'm going to add. Now, with these modeling questions, if it is adding, I don't need to rewrite anything. I can just, from the problem, since I got parentheses around them, I can go ahead and find my like terms. Okay? So I've got t squared and I've got, very good, I got my t squares. And then I've got a positive 4t, and its like term is positive 2t. And finally, I have the constant of 4 and another constant of 4. Okay? And from here, I can just go ahead and get my final answer. I don't need to rewrite the problem. It's all lovely. What is t squared plus t squared? 2t squared. And the person who said t to the fourth power needs to stop it. Okay. We do not operate with exponents, so quit it. But remember, it's actually 1t squared plus 1t squared, which is 2t squared. Okay, so what is 4t plus 2t? 6t. Remember, t's have tails. Make your t's have tails so they don't look like plus signs. And then what is 4 plus 4? 8. And that's our final answer. Okay? So that's how we're going to work our modeling problems. Okay? If you're adding, you're just going to combine those like terms. Make sure you put parentheses around your polynomials and then combine those like terms. Okay? Number 6, I'm going to tell you I'm going to add those. And this is my first polynomial. And this is my second polynomial. I want somebody to tell me how I know I'm adding them. Total. It says the word total. So I'm going to add. And we're not literally going to add this one because I think we're good there. But I just want to point out parentheses and then find your word that tells you what to do. So we are going to go down to example number 7 and look at that one. Okay, again, to begin with, let's do like we did with our first example number 1. This would be an invisible 1 right there, right? Okay. And I would distribute the negative 1. And what is negative 1 times v? Oh, wait. Okay. So that changes this, yes? Okay. Uh, what's negative 1 times negative 8? Positive 8. Okay. We've got a new problem. We have a new problem, so we have to write it. So negative 1 times v is a negative v. Negative 1 times negative 8 is a positive 8v cubed. What is negative 1 times a positive 5? Negative 5. I have a new polynomial. So I have to rewrite this one because it is different. The value has changed, so I do have to rewrite this one. So if you're subtracting, I expect you to rewrite the problem, okay? And what we need to do is start at that minus sign and mark this one out because we're not working with it anymore. Physically mark that one out, starting with the minus sign and mark it out. Because now I'm going from here to here. Okay? Now, I'm just going to find my like terms and then I'm going to combine them. So here we go. I've got a constant of 2. And what's my other constant? Negative 5. Okay? Now, I have a negative 2v cubed. What's its like term? Positive 8v cubed. Alright. And then I have a 6v, and its partner is negative 1v. Very good. Negative v. And then I just follow what it tells me to do with the operation. So I am going to start with my b cubed because I only want to write this one once. Okay, so what is negative 2 plus 8? 6. Keep the b cubed. There we go. All right, then I'm going to go to the v. What is 6 minus 1? Positive 5. Keep the v. And then 2 minus 5 is negative 3. And that's my final answer in standard form. So when I'm subtracting, I have to distribute that negative 1 because it changes my polynomial and it's new. Questions? Okay. Let's go down to number 9. Here we go. All right. Negative, so I got to distribute it. So my new problem is instead of 3v, it's going to be negative 3v. My next term, instead of negative 3, it's going to be, and my last term, instead of negative 6v squared, it is positive 6v squared. Because what that negative does is it changes my signs, doesn't it? Negative times a positive makes a negative. A negative times a negative makes a positive. Negative times a negative makes a positive. Now, I am finished with this one, so mark it out. Because if you don't, you're going to want to work with it because that's the way our brain goes. Okay. 6v to the 4th. Do I have another one of those? No. I'm just going to circle it because that's going to be alone. Okay, I do have a constant of negative 5 and a constant of positive 3. I agree. And then I have a negative 6v and its partner is negative 3v. Okay, and now I've taken care of all of those and I still have one down here, right? So he is going to just be brought down too. Okay. So, which one do you want to start with? 6v to the 4th, okay. And then which one? Plus 6v squared, I got you. Thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay, which one do you want to do now? And what do we get? Negative 9b is correct. And finally, what is negative 5 plus 3? Negative 2. And that's our final answer. Very good. Questions about how to get the answers. Okay, your calculator is for integers. So if you're struggling with integers, that's what the calculator is for. Okay? All right, example number 8. I want you to get that answer, please. Do that now. All right, Jason, what'd you get for your answer? Does it look like that? And you got that right. Questions. If you didn't get it right, do you have any questions? Yes, right.
I just got confused, like, on the phone.
Okay.
Like, I need to highlight negative 22 and negative 22, and then I circled, uh, 4 and then negative 3 into this section. And, whenever I wrote my answer down, like, I got negative 16, and I just got confused what to do with the 4 and then negative 3.
Okay, if it doesn't have, if it's not doesn't have anything to combine, we're going to bring it down. That's it. Just bring it down in order. Okay. So when you have this plus 4n and it doesn't have anything to combine with, I just bring it down. Okay. And then my 2n squared, there's no other squares, so I'm just going to bring them down.
Okay.
Okay. So just it is what it is, and what you want to do is just bring it down and make sure you put it in order. Okay. Does that help? Excellent. Anybody else? Okay. It really does. Notice how I do that. I do that to show you, but when I'm working them ahead, I always mark them out too. So that because next thing you know, I've lost them. I lose them all the time. I lose terms all the time. Okay, so let's try another one. Let's do number 10, please. Get your answer for number 10. When you're ready, check your answer with mine. Ask me questions if you have. Any questions? Okay, let's do our modeling problem. Okay, so the cost in dollars of producing X toothbrushes is given by this polynomial. So I'm going to put parentheses around my polynomial. So that's my first one. And the revenue generated from sales is given by this polynomial. So I'm going to put parentheses around my second one. Write a polynomial expression for the profit. This is the clue word. From making and selling that many toothbrushes. Find the profit. Find the profit. And you just box that instead of this. Either way, you're finding profit. Okay, but here's where it is in the, so find the profit of selling this many toothbrushes, 200,000 toothbrushes. When I add, it doesn't matter what order I add things in, right? 3 plus 4 is 7, 4 plus 3 is 7, doesn't matter. But when I subtract, the answers are different, right? 4 minus 3 is 1, 3 minus 4 is negative 1. So they have to be in the correct order. Here is how profit works. It is sales, write this down, minus cost equals profit. That is always how it's written. Always in that order. Now, cost may not always be written in there. Sales may not always be written in there, but one of these words or a word that means those things will be in here so you know which one is which. In this case, we have sales. Sales is this polynomial here. Sales is this polynomial. Sales minus cost. So here's how it's written. Sales is written first. Minus, so make sure you're writing that sales first or you'll get the wrong answer. And then our other one, 400,000 plus 3x. Yes, yes, but I think I've made sure that, yes, revenue is also, yes. Okay, so that's the way it has to be written. Now, since it's subtraction, this side gets rewritten, right? Because now it's negative 400,000 minus 3x. Because when I distribute that negative, that's what happens. And that goes away. So I have a new monomial to work with. And then I just combine like terms like I usually do. 20x minus 3x. So x squared does not have anybody to partner with, and negative 400,000 doesn't. My constant doesn't either. So I'm going to combine the like terms. I'm going to start with my x squared, so it can already be in standard form. And then 20 minus 3 is 17, keep the x. And then my constant, which is negative 400,000. Okay? Questions? They're bigger numbers, but it all works the same. Same process. Now it says, what if I sold 200,000 toothbrushes? Well, if I have something to put in there, it always goes in place of the variable, right? So here's what it looks like. Negative 4/10,000 and then we put in parentheses our 200,000. In this case, it's squared. So it's x squared. So 200,000 squared plus 17 times x, which is 200,000. So it's going to go in both places. It's going to go everywhere there's an x. You're going to put that 200,000 minus the 400,000. Now type that in your calculator and tell me what your profit is. Everybody's typing this in their calculator, unless you're writing it down. What you got? $1,400,000. Or the other way that that can be said is $1.4 million. It's another way that we say that. Okay? So that would be the profit of selling 200,000 toothbrushes. Sales minus cost is your profit. Okay? Questions about that? All right, turn over to your homework, please. Your homework is problems 1 through 12. Okay? There will be homework questions tomorrow. Remember, we are, or as a reminder, effort plus accuracy is your homework grade. Okay? So make sure that you work on that, okay? Alrighty, get started. Please start where you think you might have questions. And if you have any questions, come see me.